He's the man who retired in 1948 from Test cricket, still talked about in glowing terms, not just in Australia, but around the world. So we look forward to that tonight, that documentary, and we look forward to the second half this afternoon with the Double Blues leading by 19 points, Ben.
Yeah, and Eagles are probably lucky that that's all they are leading by at the moment, 19 points. Eagles are still in this game, even though the rain has started to fall and the ground is getting a bit dewy.
Yeah, well, dewy or just...
Bit moist. Makes it harder for the skills anyway.
Yeah, so we just look at that first half and Double Blues were out of the blocks early, 3-3 to 3. Start again. 3-3 to 3-1 at quarter time, and then in the second term they put together 5 in a row unanswered, and that really broke open the game.
Well, it did. It was even up to then, and we see the leading goal kickers there, Stokes and Passador for the Eagles. They're 2 each, and for the Sturt they've shed it around a fair bit. Richardson with the 2, but then a number of single goal kickers.
And Soda's on the boundary. It must have fined up for you to be out there, Sodas.
Certainly has. Now, we've put the umbrella away. Now, a couple of health concerns for both clubs. Luke Toyer has a migraine, as mentioned earlier, so he won't take any further part. For Sturt, Simon Feast came off the ground with about 5 minutes to play in that second term. He was dominant early on, which gave Sturt really that 5-goal to 2 benefit in that second term. Now, he did have his ankle re-strapped. He damaged it about 5 weeks ago. The strapping was becoming a little bit loose, so he's just had it tightened up. Should be fine. He's back out there warming up with the team and should start the second half.
So there's just on Luke Toyer, you have to wonder if he went into the match thinking, well, I've already got a headache and it's, what, become a migraine?
Perhaps. Well, there was a report that he did have some hamstring tightness in the warm-up as well, and that coupled with perhaps, well, I'm not sure whether Luke Toyer is a regular sufferer of migraines or not, but he's certainly got one at the moment, and it is debilitating because he can't take the field at all.
Now, not that Ben and I mistrust you in any way, but we are wondering what the weather's going to do for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, Neil, I'm going to stop making predictions. I've made 2 today, and they haven't worked. It's dark, it's grey, the lights are on, and there's a chance it might rain again. How's that?
That's 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
Covering all bases.
OK. Thanks, Sodas. You can resume your seat, and we're just about to resume watching the battle out there. Ben, quickly, what do you think? Who's going to win?
Oh, look, if the Eagles are going to get back into this game, they need to start winning out of the centre. And that's where they started missing, you know, where they were going in that quarter. They just weren't getting their hands on it, getting that quick movement forward, which is so vital. And, look, Sturt, if they keep going the way they are, they'll be right in this.
Well, that's 6 of one and half a dozen of another as well. Michael Maney, it's your turn. Take up the commentary for the second half.
Thank you, Neil, and what an important one it is for the Eagles to get back into this game. 19-point lead to the Double Blues. The threat of rain, they wouldn't want to get too far out of touch, the Eagles. Another clearance and another bounce coming up. Umpire just about slips on his posterior. Umpire Williams. Umpires have been okay today. Always difficult in a final. Stokes knocks it forward. Beveridge just hassled by Colville. Stokes and Sheedy, a couple of speedsters there. In goes Rugolo. Code. Look for Cooper. Matner. Good bit of pace to Whiteman. The old 1-2 back to Matner. His kick looking for Burton at the back. Chambers mopping up Pedler. Colville on the slide. Breaks Andrew Rogers' club record. Number of games today, he's 180th. Kicks to half forward. Good mark, McKenzie. Ball's a little bit slippery still. Whiteman's given away 25. He claims not guilty, Your Honour. But this will bring McKenzie inside 50. And he'll kick from about 45. And if he can get the journey, get an early one, the Eagles with every chance of reeling back this 19-point lead that the Double Blues currently have.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have talked about the fact they need to go out here and get a couple of quick goals, though. They get themselves back on track. They're too good a team to stay down for too much longer in this game, so you expect them to come right back here.
McKenzie. Well, about 47. Good long kick. Is it accurate? Just away to the left-hand side. Made good contact. Didn't quite straighten it up.
Yeah, he did. Look good off the boot. Mark McKenzie's a player that's it's pretty important out of the centre. I talked about the fact that Sturt have been getting on top in the midfield in that second quarter, and McKenzie's one who really needs to stand up, take some strong grabs and get his hands on the football from the ruck and from the stoppages.
Sturt No mucking around. Big, long kick into centre-half back. Roberts with the tackle on McKenzie. Merriman could have been taken high. Some certainly thought he was. By Richard Williams to throw the ball up. And trailing at half-time. 5 wins and 2 losses this season, the Eagles. So they do know how to come from behind. Another ball up at centre-half back for the Double Blues. Centre-half forward. If you're an Eagles fan, first time they've worn these particular Guernseys in a final. It's the change strip that was introduced this year. Stokes. Now Filippo ducks the tackle. Play on. Caught. Umpire said holding the ball. Well, that was lightning, but he did duck his head the first time. Roberts with the free kick. Weatherald in. Sliding in was the redhead. Colville passes on. Passador bounces in front of him. Well scooped up. Hand pass to Stokes. Stokes just got a bad bounce, which you wouldn't expect on a day when it's become fairly slippery. Belted out of there by Cooper. Montfrees with the tackle on McKenzie. Hand pass to Westbrook. Not 15. Shirley in short. Stokes again. He's been running around in or near the 50-metre arc for about 5 minutes unchecked, and finally he's got a pass on his chest and he fancies his chances, turns around, walks back and steadies himself.
He's a live wire up forward, Stokes. Saw him get involved with the play on 2 or 3 occasions there, and eventually ending up with a bit of space and getting a short kick to him. Should go back. Nail this one. Help the Eagles get back into this game.
Has 2 already, now he has 3. Good start to the second half by the Eagles, and they trail by 12 points.
We saw a couple of important touches through the centre there when the ball came out. They reran it back through. Gavin Colville getting the ball in. Well done there by Robert Shirley, who's had some important touches. The first quarter was excellent. A little bit quieter in that second quarter, but good spot to find Stokes, and Stokes did the job and finished.
Has been ever present today, Matthew Stokes. Oh, loose boot in there. Merriman and Whiteman go to ground. Your own man, said the umpire.
4 players on the ground with 15 possessions. Marty Matner and Matthew Cooper for Sturt. Robert Shirley and Matthew Stokes for the Eagles.
Westbrook. Oh, he's got a problem. A big one. Weatherall. Burton. Cooper can't get through. Potter. And we'll see a bit of this with the slippery conditions.
Yeah, the slippery conditions should bring the ball into more of a kicking game, you'd think, so maybe that might favour the Eagles. The Sturt run handball game maybe not as effective in this sort of weather.
Beast got it down only as far as Treby, who kicks to the wing. Passador, who really is moving freely, overran the football. Smith. That was just a kick in hope. Hope for a mark. Front square, Westbrook. Now he's got to knock it out of there. The umpire cuts him some slack, Ben.
Yeah, it did pop out. It did pop out, but he was lucky it did, because he dived on it and made too much of an attempt to get that out.
Got a big high ball up. Merriman's kick smothered. Fellow Catus Colville, who got it to Sicolella. Scrubbed the kick to Fiachi. Merriman, clever enough to get around. Got the kick away. Filippo. Burton couldn't take the mark. Followed up with a tackle on Stokes.
Good tackle.
And Adrian Burton has been pretty good for the Double Blues this year in the opportunities that he's been given. That's a good tackle.
That's a very good tackle. He followed it up. He went for the mark. Couldn't pull in the one-hander. Then got back to the second effort. It's exactly what Sturt are after.
Whiteman touched off the boot. You heard the umpire call it. Merriman has been just sweeping back there this afternoon. Had a lot of kicks. We'll get to that in a moment. Drives this one to half forward. Nice mark taken by Burton. In fact, Roberts, maybe he wishes it was Burton. Awful kick. Cooper, hard man, comes through. Filippo, almost tackled. Whiteman goes after him. Filippo around the corner. Not a bad kick. Inside 50. Nelson, the captain, takes it. Got a hand pass of sorts off. Sturt are out of trouble. Only just. Whiteman. Long kick. Not a bad kick. Very good kick. In the end, Smith darts inside, brings it across to the fat side of the ground, dangerous. It's over the back, it'll be a free kick, it'll be advantage to Sturt. Inside 50 to Richardson. Richardson quick, back he goes. He's got a player leading inside 50, it was Squire. And now he's going to steady Josh Richardson.
And you think this would be against the flow of play a little bit if he went back and did this. This would probably put a bit of a damper on the start the Eagles have had. They could have perhaps capitalised with 2 or 3 goals rather than the 1 goal they've had so far.
Played every game for Sturt this season. Richardson starts the ball out to the right, brings it back perfectly, has the distance, goal to Josh Richardson, and he has his 3rd of the afternoon.
Well, Sturt, they've weathered the storm in the first 5-10 minutes. They knew that the Eagles would come out. The Eagles were down a bit in that second quarter. They knew they'd come out really hard. So the good pass from Monfries there running through. He's had a good few touches here in his second and third quarter since he's come onto the ground. But Sturt, like I said, weathered the storm in the first 5 minutes of this quarter, and now maybe they can rebuild on that lead and push forward.
2 smallest men on the ground, both have 3 apiece in Stokes and Richardson. Goal kickers for their respective sides. Colville to pass it all, lined up by Beveridge. Ball flicks over the top, chance for Filippo. Overran the footy. Merriman just hustled out of that contest. Toe poke finds Matner. He arches the back, touches on the ground. Matner, how far did he run? Umpire said that's okay. Long kick inside 50. Feast! Lovely contested mark by Simon Feast.
And he want to get back and take this kick here, otherwise he'll give this free kick away.
It's up to him. He's in the control.
And Simon Feast has taken the mark.
Come on, guys.
He's not too happy about the treatment dished out after he'd taken it. He's staring someone out there, Simon Feast.
Yeah, Greg Cole's a little bit frustrated. He hasn't had his best day. When Simon Feast took that, he rolled him over and made him know that he'd taken a good mark. You don't normally pat them on the back. So he certainly made him know that he'd taken a good mark, and he's a little bit disappointed in himself. Brad Cole's not been able to get a fist on that one.
Missed an easy one from this position in the first turn. Simon Feast just laid back on it, and he done it again. Ben, he missed it.
If that's what you mean.
I think that's what I'm trying to spit out.
Is that it, right, is it? He did, he missed it. And you see here, holding on, Feast has actually held the play down, so he couldn't get his hands up in Coles, and we're going to see what happens just after that.
Westbrook with the kick, just taking that mark outside the 50 arc.
They've fallen down a bit here, Neil, haven't they? Pressing hard forward.
Well, they have. They want to tighten it up, or they have tightened it up against Sturt's run, but in turn, they've lost some there themselves. Double Blues, Roberts just pushed one off and then was smothered, got it back again, well, only for a second. Whiteman put his head down, got one high, and it'll be a free kick. In the middle, he's got players screaming for the ball, but Whiteman, unaware of that, decided to hold it up, go down the line. Chambers is there. Leading back also is Matner. Chambers will come across in the middle of this pack. They all fly from the Eagles. Chambers belts it forward. This will advantage Cooper, who on his left foot. Instead, he handballs to Monfries, run down brilliantly, holding the ball. No, umpire calls play on. Now Cole's lucky to get away with the ball. Had a fresh air shot in the tackle. Sikalella held it up, gave a hand pass to Shirley.
Good Shepherd.
Shirley was good. Got a good Shepherd in the background from McKenzie, who hurt himself doing it too, and that's out of bounds, uncharacteristic. And Mark McKenzie is back inside 50 and is hurting after putting that Shepherd on, number 57.
Yeah, he did, and that's a little bit uncharacteristic, the top there. See Brad Williams just fumbling that. It is a little bit slippery out there, but should take that.
There's the man in question, McKenzie, drives it back to the wing. Smith from behind, got it away from Passador just. Passador threw it out, got it to Merriman. Down towards half forward, going back was Nelson, lined up in a tackle. Well done, Ben Nelson, to hold on to the ball and keep it in there. And the Double Blues will get a throw up.
Nathan Pop was pretty umpire. Sorry, Nathan Pop was pretty kind to Ben Nelson then. Ben Nelson was running back. Should have been sandwiched, but Nathan Pop decided to wrapping up the tackle and happy with the bounce.
Lindsay tried to find Fiacci. He's got Merriman, and Merriman wants that right boot. Grubs a kick forward, looking for Bock, and he can't control it.
Marion's been good across half forward this quarter. He's had 4 or 5 touches already. But then again, the disposal. I mean, I know he turned back in his right boot, but he just had to put it in the air, let his forwards have a jump at it. Nathan Bock is a tall guy with a good leap. You can't kick it on the ground into the pocket. It's just not beneficial for your side.
Eagles would love one here. Lindsay down to Colville. In comes Ellis, who's hardly been sighted. Colville got it to Piacci, squared it up. Rugolo couldn't take it, Oliver couldn't either. Rugolo's dangerous, he's kicked the goal! Well, he is dangerous around goals, Vinny Rugolo. And he kicks another one for the Eagles. They get their second of the term. They trail by 13 points.
Yeah, Dale Ellis going back here, made the contest. The ball bounced up high, and Vinny Rugolo, those clean hands and that quick decision, okay, the foot and mind decision to throw the ball on the boot. Off's been tackled or put under pressure by Ben Nelson, and a great finish and a great view. And he's happy. And are the Eagles back in this game? That's the question. Can they keep going on with it?
34 goals for the season for Rugolo. Notably, 5 goals against Sturt in round 19. Monfries has been very, very good, the young man in the centre for Sturt. Long and high, inside half forward. McKenzie taking a very, very good mark for the Eagles. Now they've got some run across to Stokes. Stokes in half back. Looks up, goes to Lindsay. Under pressure. Lindsay gives a head pass to Treby that set him up. Treby was good enough to get away with it. Inside to Pedler. Pedler goes long to half forward. From behind comes Smith. Knocks it away for Sturt. Well roved at the front by Bock. Bock to Merriman. Wants his right foot. This time it's a good kick. And Rugolo! Box on. Box run down, but Rugolo likes his chances.
As that rain comes down again.
Rain just starting. Sees people in the background heading for cover. Puts it up in front of goal. And clock just centimetres away from getting an opportunity there as the ball's rushed through by the Sturt defenders. Rugolo astray. We'll have another look on goal umpire Cam, and yes, just going the wrong way.
See, the lights have come on too, Neil. It's getting pretty dark down there.
Beveridge's long kick out, and that rain is bucketing down at the moment. It's still close enough for the Eagles. It's not out by 20 or 30 points with the rain coming down. Oliver. His kick to a contest. Pedler knocked it away from Chambers. In goes Weatherall. Normally gets a free kick for a high tackle in that situation. He's very good at it, wearing the number 62 and a head bandage. And the rain coming down in the background. Huge light towers here at the Adelaide Oval. Matner, well, with strength, ducked the head, forced his way through. Sheedy into the pocket. Feast slides in to the fence. Boundary throw in.
How good is Matner at keeping his feet? You know, on a day when it's wet, it's so easy to go to ground or slip, but he stands there. So, going to change down there, Sodas?
Yeah, stock standard ruck change. Knights here with Chris Oliver coming off. Big Jake Bowen, who came off a couple of times early in the day with the blood rule, he's back on all patched up.
Awkward conditions now as Westbrook just overran the football. Chambers had half a chance. Ball's locked up. Sikalala just grabs hold. And it's really coming down.
He'll get up. Grant, keep your cool, Grant.
Pity the poor cameraman up there.
Come on. What is being in there? Grant, come on.
Players still going on with it. And Chambers and Lindsay. Now, Lindsay might give away another free kick here to Chambers. No. Ball up. Pack of players. Cooper. Got it to Feast. To Barrasoap. Feast through it in the boots. Missed everything and bounced out of bounds. Right forward pocket. Throw it back in. As Simon Feast ruse what was a golden opportunity to kick a goal.
Wouldn't he love the goal there, Simon Feast?
Hard to handle the pack of soap as ball thrown in forward pocket for Sturt. Feast battles with Lindsay. Been an interesting contest, Lindsay. Monfries threw it from the base of the pack out to Cooper, who lost control. So did Sheedy. And Sheedy comes in over the top. Forces a ball up. Jade Sheedy, 2002 Magarey medalist in Sturt's premiership year, and must be one of the favourites going into the Magarey count on Monday night.
I think we're going to see a fair bit of in-tight football in this next quarter and a half.
Having said that, Merriman's got loose. Good hand pass from Cigalella. Merriman dropped it. Now it's come to Weatherall from 25 metres. Snaps around the corner, misses everything. No, it comes back. Goal to Weatherall. Oh, that's a team lifter. Gee, they really hunted down the ball, and Timmy Weatherall with the snap.
Great take here. The tackle from Monfries. Freed it up. Great tackle. Weatherall ran onto it. Silky skills. Got around one. Snapped it. Fantastic kick. And that'll get the Sturt boys up. And in this weather, that is turning into a formidable lead.
Some fresh legs on for the Double Blues. Under 18 state representative Danny Pearce on at half forward, being picked up by Ryan Potter.
Thanks, Mark Soderstrom. Eagles go forward. Can they answer the challenge? Bock dropped the football. He's trying to do a bit too much. Advantage rule goes to Beveridge. Beveridge looks for and finds Whiteman. Whiteman, what has he got to kick to? He goes to Chambers. Pedler's there. O'Hara just got in the gap. Needed the line. Dragged it back in. Pedler dropped it. Pearce immediately into the fray. Desperation stakes out there. No faint hearts. Taken by Chambers, who just cracks the pack. In goes Cigalella. Beautiful tackle by Squire.
Well
Cigalella, he's pretty wriggly. He got away. Taken by Merriman. Merriman kicks forward, hoping for a mark from Ellis. Roberts, his marksman all day. Roberts has been sensational. Rugolo. And the ball goes out of bounds.
I think Roberts dislocated his wrist there. I can see it from up here.
It's not his wrist. That might be his elbow even. It's come out in a big, big way, and that is ugly.
That was Roberts.
It's a fantastic spoil. He got right up over the top. The big punch towards the boundary. But unfortunately, one of those sickening injuries we hate to see.
Well, when is this man going to get a break? He has missed a lot of football.
Look away now if you don't want to see something ugly. Watch the left arm.
Oh, dear. Oh, that is a season-ending injury.
That is, unfortunately, a broken arm. And the two bones there, I don't think they're in too good a shape at the moment. It's not what we like to see. Very, very unfortunate for this young player. And unfortunate for the Sturt team.
Yes, that's very, very disappointing. And the staff are taking a lot of precautions down there to make sure that he's okay.
You can obviously see he's in tremendous pain, and Nick Swingler, the head trainer, talking to him and talking through exactly what he's going to do. As you can see, they're really trying to reduce any sort of jarring on the arm, which, as you could imagine, would be absolutely excruciating in that sort of situation.
I'd just like to know how many games this young man has missed through injury. He just keeps coming back and back and back. And this is a sad moment for Cameron Roberts, who has been terrific for them today. Van Knight's across half-back.
He has. He's been excellent.
Sensational.
He really has been excellent. He's held his opponents down. He's seen there's a lot of pain there.
That hurts.
From the reverse angle, if you are a bit squirmish, probably don't want to watch this. Comes down that left arm and he's straight away there.
Enormous amount of pressure on that as he hit the deck.
He's a big boy, and unfortunately he put every single bit of his body weight on that arm as he came down and hit the deck. And
listed as 96 kilos, and as you say, it was all on the arm as he came down. He made tremendous ground up to spoil that ball away. And you really do feel for Cameron Roberts, just getting towards the players' race at the moment. It's a good round of applause from the supporters, and I assume the supporters of both sides. Nobody in football likes to see those things happen.
Play resumes. 21 and a half gone. It'll be a long quarter. Bowen, Sheedy. Bowen showing some aggression. Can't get through. Umpire's just letting it go. Fiacci off the ground. And it'll trickle out of bounds. No, it won't. Now it does. Rugolo just finding touch. Boundary throw in. 65 plays 47 in the qualifying final at the Adelaide Oval. Sturt up by 3 goals. The last goal kicked by Tim Weatherald at the 17.5-minute mark. O'Hara got it to Piarchi. How did he get rid of that? Taken by Stokes. He's kicked free. Centres it up. Treeby can't get there. Matner.
Well done,
Terrific
Matner.
play. To Plum. To Captain Nelson. To Chambers in the middle of the Adelaide Oval.
Chambers will look to get it wide. Cooper's standing out here. Cicolella at it best. Cooper got him under the ball, but Cicolella was good with his recovery. Cooper will come again. Good battle between two players committed to the ball. Matthew Cooper. Real problems with his hearing and therefore his balance since the Bali tragedy, which he was one of the Sturt players who was up there in Bali. He's had some sort of hearing aid which has helped him out. Here's Richardson at the front, will go boundary side. That's the way he does. It's back over the line, 20 metres down the ground, 30 metres down the ground. It's a game of centimetres, metres at this stage. Slippery. Had a fair bit of rain this afternoon in 2 bursts.
Hold each other.
Stokes just went without the ball. And players try and hatch it. Eventually one of them will have to hand it over to Richard Williams. Umpire coming in.
O'Hara was quite convincingly beaten in the second quarter in the ruck. So, interesting now, Ronnie Ford's putting him back on there. He really needs a big lift from O'Hara. You can't rely upon Lindsay all day.
Sheedy was clever to Whiteman. Whiteman goes long. Feast at the back. Won't get there, yes, knocks it away. And we'll get another ball up inside 50. Good work from Simon Feast. Well out of the contest in that situation. Got around his man Coles.
Feast did the ruck work, tried to Monfries. In goes Colville. Richardson's got him. Monfries with the hands in the air. Clever player, Monfries. Got a big future in football.
Straight back here. Play on.
Cicolella tried to get to the line. Cooper. Pearce was there. Cooper got it away. Weatherall. Bit of dancing. Short kick. It comes back to Pearce. Pearce through on the boots. Which way will it bounce? It bounced into the post. Double lose by 19 points. Just needed that ball to break to the left.
He's an excitement machine, isn't he, Daniel Pearce? Another one of these Sturt youngsters that I'm sure will make a big impact in football later in life, as he is at the moment with the Sturt Footy Club.
Well, reports Daniel Pearce didn't have a great under-18s carnival. Might be the sleeper among those chosen in the draft this year. Feast comes from behind, knocks it away. McKenzie thought twice about the handball, and Feast laid the tackle. Whiteman been important this afternoon. Moggy, what are his stats?
Yes, Andrew Whiteman has been very busy. 11 kicks and 8 handballs.
Very important, the hard man of the Double Blues lineup. O'Hara double team that time. Feast got it forward for the Double Blues. Ball still in dispute. See a lot of this. 19 points the margin. 25.5 minutes, third term. Players not wanting to surrender the ball. That's a bit ridiculous, boys. Just give it up. Brad Coles eventually gets to his feet and hands it over. Out of the ruck, Bowen. Slick hand pass. Umpire pitched him for holding the ball. Well, that's controversial. It looked like a lovely little hand pass to Sheedy, and the umpire was quick on the whistle, said you took it out of the ruck and didn't dispose of it fast enough. But have a look at that.
That's a fair handball in anyone's book.
I don't know if you could do it faster than that, but in any case, free kick to Colville. From behind, Smith with the punch. At the front, Williams taken to ground. Now Piarchi. Williams was held too long, according to the umpire. It'll be a free kick to Williams, and 25 metres for Whiteman. Saying a few words to umpire Richard Williams, who takes him the full distance, the 25, the 26. We're still going, it's 50. Well, that could be very costly. And you think there aren't some players upset about that. Richard Williams taking back the mark 50 metres. And he'll take it back even further. And Whiteman throwing his mouth guard into the ground, and that was the last straw for Richard Williams.
And I don't think there'll just be a few players upset. I think Brenton Phillips will be extremely upset. I think he'll be angered by that, and I think we'll see this runner come straight out there to pass on a message.
Well, his teammates are going to him now, but it's a little bit late. We should have just taken him out of it. But
Well, if we manage to get a shot of the box, box, I can tell you that Brad Ryan, one of the Sturt assistant coaches, was on his feet looking back at the umpire's advisors, looking for guidance. A goal, and a vital one, is handed over to the Eagles. And in the middle, the push and shove is on as we just have another look at what started it all. Well, there we go, down the ground.
Gift wrapped, whatever way you want to say. There's Andrew Whiteman. But Williams on the end of it, 13 points the difference. Back in the centre. Eagles just got a break. And Sturt's all their good work coming undone there. Shirley to Potter. The Eagles go forward again. Will they have momentum? Well done to Curtis.
And that there should be 50 as well, if that's the way he's going to play it.
Well, different umpire officiating there. Curtis. Smith! Good grab. Had the sit. What's he got forward? Looks for Feast. And ducking in and taking a lovely mark was Joey Pedler. They look a bit different sometimes when their hair's wet after the rain. Pedler's kicks a shocker, taken by Monfries. Had a chance to go. Well done by Coles, just held him up. He had Chambers on, but Coles did okay to hold him back. Monfries will still go to Chambers in the pocket. It was left by Weatherall. Should be still a little bit of time left in this quarter. We had the Cameron Roberts incident. Just soaked up about 2 or 3 minutes. So Brant Chambers with a heavy ball from 40 metres out in that dead pocket. Lovely view of it here. Chambers, it's a good kick off the boot. It'll go across the face. They can't knock it through. Yes, it is now. And 29-minute mark, Sturt by 14.
Yeah, they haven't let the Eagles back into this game, so I still think the Sturt team is really favourite to go on with this in the last quarter. They need more run from their defence like they are now, the Eagles, and they need to hit targets like that with Passador, who after the first quarter has been a little bit quiet.
Passador drives down. On the lead comes Ellis. Just ducked the head. Umpire set too high. Matner was the player offending. Sturt want to watch it. The umpires are on the trigger finger.
Ellis's first possession for the day.
Ellis drives up. Started with the long sleeves. He reckon he'd want them now.
He's lucky to get that one too, Moggy, I reckon.
Ball to the front of the pack. Stokes was clever. Around the body, Stokes has a goal for the Eagles. And that's 4 for Stokes. And the Eagles, I say that with some surprise because he's hardly been sighted, but the Eagles well and truly in this match. 8 points the margin.
That's the thing about Stokes. You see Rugolo getting that handball out there and Stokes picking it up with 2 live wire forwards for the Eagles, who have been a little bit quiet, but then popped in, and Stokes kicking his 4th goal. And such an important goal going to this last quarter. Well, the Eagles are right in this.
Matthew Stokes is actually the Eagles' busiest player. He's had 20 possessions.
Defining moment, the Whiteman double 50 has let the Eagles back into this game. Beveridge, as good a player as Whiteman's been, may prove critical. Beveridge cuts long. Westbrook couldn't hold the mark. Threw it on the boot. High ball. It's all double blues here. And Matthew Smith takes the mark. Over 11,800 people here at the Adelaide Oval. What a game of football. It's all set up for the last term. Sturt 10-7-67. Lead the Eagles 9-5-59 by 8 points.
Well, a fantastic quarter there. Both teams going at it. The Eagles holding Sturt back, and Sturt, look, they couldn't extend their lead. It's been reduced a little bit from from half time. So we're in for a fantastic last quarter here. A couple of incidents there that Sturt wouldn't have liked to see. A key injury, and then also the 50-metre penalty, or the double 50-metre penalty. What a fantastic player Marty Mattner's been for the Sturt team this quarter. We've seen a few highlights here of him running. His run for defence has been excellent. His speed, his ability to get out of tackles and turn and twist. This is in the first quarter here, and he's been such an important player for Sturt today. That rebound from defence, which is such a key to so many teams build up their entire attack from their half-back line, and Marty Mattner's done exactly that today.
Well, I suppose Sturt aren't alone in wanting to build that from the half-back line. And I still see, look closely, that one bounced.
I'll have to see it again, Neil.
Yeah, Mattner important. The tackling's been important for the Double Blues. And when it was dry, they really looked at business, didn't they?
Oh, look, they certainly had the skills. The Eagles, when Sturt got away to a good start, the Eagles came back. So quarter time, it was anyone's ball game. But then again, Sturt in that second quarter really pushed away, and the Eagles looked, you know, they weren't getting their hands on the football at the stoppages, and that was starting to be a little bit worrying for the Eagles.
And Mattner, who I think has only played the 3 games for Sturt this season, so he's just slipped in under qualification to play in the finals. And of course, he is a Double Blue to start with, not just selected in the mini draft via an AFL club. So he's been very, very important for them, as has that man up forward with taking a couple of very clever grabs. We look across 3 quarters, the Double Blues have a 10-7, 67 to 9-5, 59 lead. And they've been impressive at times, and the Eagles have been at their best at times, but it's been spasmodic for both sides in many ways. Just like the weather, we see Matthew Stokes with 4 goals for the Eagles and Mark Passador with 2. They're the multiple goal kickers, and Josh Richardson with 3, the multiple goal kicker for the Double Blues. And what do you make of these stats?
Well, the inside 50s are right and even. They are only one. You know, Eagles actually gone ahead by 1 with the inside 50s, so they've come back that quarter, maybe haven't taken... I mean, both teams haven't taken their opportunities when they're actually there. The kicks are exactly even again. The handballs, as expected, stirred her up. But apart from that, very, very even, and you expect, like it is, to be a close game.
Well, just a warning that, of course, there was an incident in that quarter involving Cameron Roberts. He came down heavily on his left arm and broke it. And I tell you, if you are squeamish or you want to get the kids out of the room, you won't want to see this, because it was fairly ugly. Let's have a look at how Cameron Roberts came down on his left arm. And I can tell you I'm having trouble looking at it. It was pretty ordinary. And poor Cameron Roberts, who's been plagued by groin injuries throughout the course of his career, groin, hamstring, back, and now you wonder how mentally he's going to cope with that sort of break.
Oh, look, anyone who has an injury like that, it's heartbreaking for yourself, for your family to watch it, and also for the team around you. You know, we wish him the best with that injury, and obviously he'll be in a bit of pain and getting some work done.
Mark Soder's down, Soderstrom, I should say, down on the boundary line. Soders, you're getting wet at the moment?
No, the rain has stopped, Neil. Brenton Phillips was absolutely ropeable when he came out to the huddle at the 3-quarter time break. His message to the players was do not engage in any, well, conversation with the umpire. We'll use that language. So do not talk to the umpire, obviously referring to the Andrew Whiteman incident. He's asked his players for this final term just to play one-on-one. Wherever the Eagles goes, his players are going to go with them. So almost a bit of a defensive type role there. Now, Cameron Roberts, he has definitely broken both bones of the forearm, the radius and the ulnar. So just a tragedy for the young man who has had many problems over the past couple of seasons. We might sneak over to Andrew Roberts to hear exactly what Ron Fuller's had to say.
Yes, Ron Fuller straight out here very impressively. He was very impressed with his last quarter. Singled out Dale Ellis as someone they need to stand up to get in front. He's going to try to break the game down into contest by contest. Just asked his players not to over handball and to get the ball moving quickly in these wetter conditions. They feel there's still a great chance in this game, Neil.
Andrew Rogers, thank you very much. As we look at Ron Fuller, just having a chat to his players. Greg Carmichael was our final weekly tipping winner at abc.net.au/SA Footy. He wins tickets off, I would suppose, to a final now, so you've done well, Greg. Kathy Wisekamp cleared out for much of the season at the top, and congratulations to her. She's the tipping competition winner with 113 points, and she's won a double pass to the SANFL Grand Final. And let's hope, Kathy, whoever you support, you're actually going to get to watch them in the Grand Final. And, well, just a reminder earlier today, the elimination final between North Adelaide and West Adelaide. And North, well, they were jumped early by Westies. And Westies coming into the finals with only 8 wins and 12 losses this season. North Adelaide slipping from 3rd position in the last game of the minor round. And in the end, the Roosters prevailed by 33 points.
Yeah, it was an interesting contest. It was very tight for those first 3 quarters, but the North team showing their class in that last quarter and pulling away from West Adelaide, who some would say maybe with an inconsistent season, a little bit lucky to slip into the finals.
Perhaps they were, as we Just get a look at the wonderful Adelaide Oval. The first time we've had a finals double header at the Adelaide Oval. And as we said in the elimination final, the Roosters coming away with the victory, and they will play the loser of this qualifying final between Sturt and the Eagles. Double Blues still holding sway at three-quarter time.
Brenton Phillips be hoping for a massive last quarter from his double blue team to get them back into this game, keep them going.
And Graham Dunstan, General Manager of the Sturt Footy Club, is with Sodas.
Thanks, Neil. Mocker, you hadn't beaten them at all this year, but it means nothing, obviously, September, does it?
No, exactly right. We're really well and truly in this and looking forward to the last quarter, mate. It's going to be huge.
A little bit of disappointment with some of the discipline of the players.
Lack of discipline, but we're going to make up for it. They're not happy about it, and they'll be having a real crack, Soda.
Thanks, Graham. Michael Maney, here he is with the final term.
Thank you, Mark Soderstrom. And what a final term it will be. An 8-point lead to the Double Blues. The winner, an opportunity to meet Central next week in a second semi-final. Oliver's ready. So too Lindsay. Oliver knocked it down. Whiteman just booted it forward. Monfrey's there. Williams, who kicked that controversial goal in that third term, to Colville, who's found some space on the wing. Kicks it long, inside 50. Ball flicks over the back. One for the runners. And Sturt just managed to buffet it through Curtis. That's good play. And I'll tell you what, there's some feeling in this game, don't you worry. And an early behind to the Eagles.
Sturt quick to bring the ball back in. Haven't seen much of the Jewel McGarry medalist in Squire this time. Good skills over the top. Oliver with the mark. It's drying out. That will suit the Double Blues, you would think. They are very much a skills running handball side. In fact, 45% of their possessions are handballs across the season. More than any other team in the competition. And dragged to ground. You'd think Chambers had a case there to argue he was held.
Yeah, I think you're right, Neil. I think he'd have a very good case to argue about getting a free kick there.
Big crowd here this afternoon. Michael mentioned late in the third quarter, more than 11,000. And ball to ground. Umpire will come in, throw it up again. It's just slightly to Sturt's side of
The biggest ball
centre.
getters, Neil, the biggest ball getters in the first three quarters. Matthew Stokes, 20. Justin Stickler, Robert Shirley, each 18 for the Eagles. And for Sturt, Marty Mattner, 20. Andrew Whiteman, 19. And Matthew Cooper, 18.
Here we go again. Tertiary bounce. From behind, knocked forward by Shirley. Well trapped by Nelson. Just gave up a hand past Colville. He gave up one to Treby. Taken to ground. Umpire come in and call for it. Near the centre square, but still on the far side of the Adelaide Oval, just near the Victor Richardson gates there in the background, and the chapel stands. Ball to ground. Merriman tackled well. And Nelson.
And Gavin Colville also 18 as an afterthought.
Fanny, forget about it.
100th game for Benny Nelson, number 32, the Sturt captain. Joins his father in 2002 in being a premiership player. At the Double Blues. He's got a way to go, though. I think his father played in 7 premierships for the Double Blues in their golden era in the late 60s and mid-70s. Sheedy around the corner. The centre wing, great mark by Williams.
Terrific grab by Williams. He kicks it long to half forward. Ball thumped away. Passador can't get the arms free. Did he handball that or throw it? Whiteman on the spillage. Kicks down the wing. Pedlar and Sikaloa just floats in and is paid the mark. And Brant Chambers doesn't like it.
That's courageous, Justin Stickler, coming back with the flight of the ball. Knew Brant Chambers was coming. And there's space on the open side here.
How does this bloke get about 30 yards in on his own? Matthew Stokes, unbelievable. Short kick, Colville, knocked away by Cooper. Stokes might get another possession. Pearce and Cooper ran into each other. Colville's got to get around. Kick chopped off by Clum. Spills to Monfries. Weatherall, handball, fell to the lap of Pearce. Pearce, 40 metres out from goal. Hooked the kick. Chambers can't take the mark. Just slipped out of his fingers, and Joey Pedlar let him know.
And that's worrying to see for the Eagles. After that contest, Matthew Stokes holding onto the right ankle. Doesn't look all that good for the Eagles, and they wouldn't want him, their leading ball getter, going off the field now.
Not for the rest of the game or next week. Throw in. Lindsay can't get through. Ball was held to him. And a ball up. Have you seen the umpiring today, Ben? It's been okay?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been, you see Matthew Stokes going off the ground at the interchange there. Bock coming on, so a tall for a short. That's what they've been forced to do. Yeah, the umpiring's been pretty good. I think it's been pretty fair. It's let the play go. And obviously with those slippery conditions, there's been a lot of tackling, a lot of bouncing. So overall, pretty reasonable.
Andrew Rogers is hunting information down there. He's just creeping up. This is the way it happened. And just put a bit of body weight on it.
No holding, come on, go to footy.
We'll go to Andrew shortly. Pretty sure it's an ankle, so Matthew Stokes has had a few problems in that area.
Right here, straight back here.
Another ball up. There's Potter.
It's a big blow for the Eagles, considering the fact that Toyer also has been off the ground all day. I mean, they've been playing with a two-man bench all day, and Toyer, important small around the football, and now to lose Stokes as well, who's been getting a lot of the football in and under. That could be very costly coming to the last 5-10 minutes this quarter.
He's been the player they've gone to also for goals. He booted 4 and been in terrific form. Colville got a run at it. Gang tackle. Crowd calls ball. And the umpire comes in and says good tackle.
Yep, Gavin Colville is always good. Strength under the ball. Around the ball.
Sturt again using the double team and the ruck. Umpire comes in, and well, there weren't no shadows, but in the forward pocket where that old scoreboard fired up this afternoon. Hasn't been in use for much of the season for the SANFL. Well, you'd think Josh Richardson had a case there for being flung out of a pack. Sooner or later here, we're going to see a free kick. You just know it. So get your head in over the ball would be the lesson.
Monfors has been on about the last 3 there. In and under, tackling, laying a few.
We haven't had a decision yet this quarter.
All down. Feast thrown out of the pack there by Lindsay, who was incensed that Feast was able to shepherd the ball. Still, Robert Shirley, he'll have to give it up as well.
There was a Tiggy Touchwood free kick just to open it up here. You wouldn't think it would go to Sturt, because in front of goal, it's a little bit dangerous.
Sikalella knocks it clear. Cooper was brilliant. Robbed his opponent of the ball, gave it to Sheedy. Up in front of goal. Chambers one-on-one. Will give away the free kick to Pedlar. Just picked him up and threw him aside. And really, there's not many games you can do that.
This is where they've been falling down since quarter time.
Williams off the left foot, goes down the wing. Ellis can't pull it in. Sturt with the numbers. Clun and Nelson. Nelson springs the ball eventually. Eagles get the numbers there to help out. And we'll get another ball up in front of Andrew Rogers, who's watching pensively. Andrew, Eagles have only a ruckman to work with on the bench for the interchange.
Yeah, they certainly are with Luke Toyer limited. They're telling me now that it's a headache to Matty Stokes. I somehow doubt that there's 2 headaches in the one place. Certainly his right ankle was giving him trouble.
Bit of Essendon flu down there running through the camp.
Centre wing interchange area. Boundary umpire to throw the ball back in. Sturt by 7 points. Opened up a 19-point lead at half-time, but it's back to 7 now. Lindsay thumps it forward. Here's Squire, able to stop and kick it down the ground. Umpire says play on still. Well, there's a few people in the crowd starting to get irate at some of these decisions and what is let go. As Pearce coming out of that pack. Doesn't look like he wears a mouth guard, perhaps he should. And Daniel Pearce. It's just a tumble out of there by Monfries. Get another ball up right in front of the members area at the Adelaide Oval. There's quite a few packed into the members area.
Straight back here.
Lindsay able to just hold off his opponent. Nice smother by Shirley, gets the kick away before Sheedy shuts him down. Smith going back. Brave work by Matthew Smith. And a good piece of work by Burton, who held off Rugolo.
And so well done by, sorry, Neil, so well done by Beveridge there. He's seen with the football, just holding his player out.
Apologies to Burton because I thought it was him. Or maybe apologies should go to Beveridge because I thought it was Burton.
Good football.
Well, they've got it back to the centre square, the Double Blues, and
Thanks, guys.
just as was asked for by their coach. They're just playing one-on-one football. They're accountable, and they're just trying to hold the ball in.
Yeah, we heard that at three-quarter time, and so does the report that that's what Brenton Phillips is after, just a man-on-man contest. Just bring it down, keep bounce-ups going on. That's exactly what Sturt are doing at the moment.
Blunt working hard at ground level, so too Curtis. The two number 4s go at it, Piazzi and Curtis. Ball spilled out the back, and Ben Nelson just wanted to track it away. Umpire had blown the whistle. 7 points the difference. Just the 1 point kicked in this last term. We've been going 9.5. Kick squeezed out. Filippo just trying to conjure something. He can't. In goes Matner, goes to the line. Crowd want deliberately out of bounds. Umpire said no. Throw it back in. There's Martin Matner, who's been one of the best today.
The brave man to pay that one. Deliberate out of bounds, even though there was definitely no other intent from Martin Matner. But the Eagles need one here. If they can't get one in the near future, Sturt is going to keep doing this to them, keep slowing them down.
Lindsay good enough to take it out of the ruck. And another stoppage. And umpire Williams comes in. There's Bowen. Looks like he needs some Bowen therapy after the day. He's been knocked around a fair bit, Jacob Bowen. In goes Williams, ridden into the ground. No free kick. And I think they pay those on the wing, but they don't pay them inside 50 too often.
At nearly 11 minutes, there's only been 10 kicks to the Eagles and 9 to Sturt in this quarter.
Well, the ball's just going forward. Any old how. Whiteman to the wing. Pedler and Chambers just reacquaint themselves. They've been going at it all day, those two. I tell you what, they're pretty keen to clench the fist and have a real old stoush, those two.
I think they'd love to. But it'd be a bit silly with a couple of finals still to come for one of these teams.
They're just busting to get at each other. Oliver knocked it down. Whiteman snared it to Monfries. Critical play here for the Double Blues. Richardson can't take the mark. Bock knocked it away. McKenzie jammed it on the boot. Squire at the back. Good mark. Good mark taken by Westbrook. Plum came up with it, but Westbrook paid the mark. Eagles need a goal, and they need it quickly. Just to drag it a bit closer. Westbrook's kick is a good one. Good effort by Code. Passador just threw himself forward and got a free kick. Oh, I tell you what, luck's a fortune there. Just hurled himself forward, and we haven't seen too many free kicks played like that today.
No, and the umpires paid it holding on, and we'll have a look here at what actually happened. Passador, I thought he had it and dropped it, but you see his left arm's been pinned, but he did have the football, and I don't know. It's a bit hard to understand when they haven't played one all day, like you said, and it is in front of goal. It could turn into be a very costly goal, but it will get it back to within 1 point, and what a game we've got in our hands. Sam
Filippo off the ground. Passador from 40 metres out, directly in front. Kicks the goal. Eagles within 1 point at the 12.5-minute mark. What a critical kick that was. That's a couple they've got, the Eagles. They got the Williams double 50 in the third term, and now the Passador free.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see there, it baffles me a little bit how the umpire can pay that one in front of goal after not paying any all day. And Passador did pick the football up, but saying that, it's happened. Passador's kicked the goal with a lovely finish. That's Passador's third, and it's back to within 1 point. So I guess we couldn't have written a better script. 1 point, 15 or so minutes to go in this last quarter, the qualifying final to play Central for a spot in the grand final.
Crucial takeaway by Westbrook, and the Eagles inside the centre square. They go forward. Head pass was loose. Nobody seemed to want to grab that. Finally, it comes to Sikalua off the left foot. No, he'll straighten up and kick a goal, and the Eagles are in front. For the first time since the 12-minute mark of the second term, the Eagles have taken the lead.
Well, they've been good all year. Sikalua, we see here, get through. He realised he had time. A fantastic shepherd by Colville. Another shepherd coming there from Rugolo. And then the finish. Straighten. He knew he had to do it. He finished. You see how excited he was after he kicked it. The Eagles are back in front. Can Sturt re-answer this? Can they get back in front? It's all happening at the Adelaide Oval.
Sturt have held the upper hand for most of this game. Centre clearance important. They dive on the football. Another pack develops. More pressure on the umpires. There's Ron Fuller. Has edged his side in front by 5 points.
Go hold in, come on, go to footy. Good work.
Not prepared to smile at the moment, Ronnie. He knows it's still up for grabs. Weatherall. Just a foot race. Colville and Beveridge, former teammates. Beveridge did okay to Whiteman. Over the top to Cooper.
Gone.
Double Blues keep coming. Brilliant tackle. And he's dropped the football.
Give him the ball, give him
And the free kick will go to O'Hara.
Two boys battling. Colville, he's almost trying to go the ankle there.
You reckon they're not fair dinkum out there? O'Hara. The kick. McKenzie. Sun in his eyes. Been raining all day. No, it hasn't. Taken by McKenzie. McKenzie kicks it inside 50. Rugolo. And Nelson. Quick hands. Curtis. Close to the line. Taken to the line. Crowd calls ball. Umpire says throw it back in. There's Vinnie Rugolo.
And he is capable of getting on the end of one or two of these and finish off with a goal. And that's what's so dangerous. He hasn't had a great day, but geez, when he has got it, he just uses it so well. He's so dangerous around the football, and especially in front of goal.
Ball back in. Curtis at the bottom of the pack. We'll get another bounce down. It won't come out of there. I think this match isn't vital. Two teams have managed to come in the history of the SANFL from the elimination final to win a premiership, but only one has lost the qualifying final and then gone on to win a premiership. The loser here, it will be really up against it, you would think. Sturt somehow get the ball out of their defensive area. Now it's going to be shuffled back in there, and now it's going to be shuffled out again. Whiteman opposed to Cicolella. Whiteman takes Cicolella to ground. Umpire calls it holding the man. Free kick to the Eagles. They're getting on top.
And they're getting on top of the umpires too. It's always a sign that things are starting to roll for them.
Where are Damien?
Cicolella's lifted. Colville's lifted.
Cicolella with his experience just slowing the game down, driving it long into half forward. Big pack. Ball to the front. Piaggi around the corner. And will it be paid up? Oh, calls play on. It falls to Westbrook. Westbrook from 40 metres kicks a goal. Well, the Eagles, they've really set a task for the Double Blues now.
Well, they're back. That second quarter, Sturt was so dominant. The third quarter, Sturt again dominated the game up until the last 5 minutes. And going to three-quarter time, we all thought that Sturt were holding this game and holding it quite convincingly. But now, haven't the Eagles broken open? Matty Stokes is back on the ground, their 4-goal champion. And the Eagles are getting the run out of the centre.
3 unanswered goals by the Eagles. Pass it on, check side. Stokes, he's back on. The miracle man, where'd he come from? What's going on down there, Andrew Rogers? They patched him up, jabbed him, he's out there.
Yeah, it's the biggest comeback since Lazarus. He looked gone. They taped the ankle up. He did a couple of laps on the boundary line, declared himself fit. And we just see him now as a shot at goal, maybe to put this game away.
Is it his kicking foot?
No, yes, it is actually. That's the ankle that's been strapped up.
He's booted 4. He's got 5. The Eagles are out by 17 points. Swab him after the game. Surely, Matthew Stokes. 5 goals in a qualifying final.
The 5-goal hero. Out of the centre, that's what's so important. The quick movement out of the centre. Pastoral got on the end of it. Put it forward. Stokes ran onto it. And he loves it.
15 kicks, 7 handballs for Matthew Stokes. Justin Cicolella has also had 22 possessions.
Between the 12-minute mark of the second term and the 13-minute mark of this final term, the Eagles trailed. They trail no more. They are 17 points up and looking like winners. And and Central's away.
All good footy.
It's a sign of a great team that they can come back. When they look out of it, they've been, well, at least one player short all day and a pretty important player in Toya. And to come out now and get a few goals in front, it's a sign of a very good team and good thing for weeks to come.
They have come from behind to win 3 times this season at the final change. Shirley, wide. And a good mark again. Westbrook, the man who kicked that last goal. All of a sudden, double blues, their one-on-one contesting has fallen away ever so slightly. Passador the target here. In the middle of the pack, Ellis. Williams slides in. Hand pass just forward of the play. Just off the deck now. Up towards Lindsay. The bounce was kind. He did drop it. The umpire said play on. Treeby around the corner. Another goal to the Eagles. Good night, Sturt.
That's got to be it. Eagles are right on top. They've got the roll. They've got the movement. That should have been holding the ball. He dropped the footy. Well done by Treeby. Lovely snap. And he's left. And Sturt, like you said, Neil, that's it for them.
5 unanswered goals by the Eagle machine. Sturt popped the question. The Eagles said, we're up to it. No worries at all. Taken by Colville. Ball spills. Passador. They're on a roll. Passador boots it forward. Up to big man Lindsay at the back. Can't take the mark. Code. Brilliant tackle by Ellis. It's not been sighted. Rugolo. Stokes. Wobble. Wobble. Goal. He's got half a dozen. Matthew Stokes off the bench. Boots his 6th goal. And the Eagles are out by very close to 5 goals. What a performance.
We see the pick up there. Rugolo, like I said, he's so good around the ball. Gets a hold of it, always uses it. And the two smalls, Rugolo and Stokes, who are so dangerous up forward, combining again, and Stokes finishing with his 6th. And in the final, those 6 are probably worth 10.
The Eagles have won their past 4 games against the Double Blues, including 3 this season, by 17 points, 21 points and 58 points. And now they are well and truly on their way to another victory. 29 points the better of the Double Blues. Loose hand pass, Colville tried to get it forward. Passador had another quick kick or quick handball in there. Double Blues losing the ball. Well, that was a high tackle. And umpire Richard Williams spotted it. And Double Blue player Matt has not moved. Well, now he's moving.
Yeah, he got the right arm, or the right hand off his face and
across the chin.
Well, he went down. Must have got him slightly.
So Matt with a free kick.
Coming for his 10th kick, 12 handballs as well.
And, well, if he came into that area, surely that was a 25-metre penalty, but not to be. Sikalala, he'll just stop, take it easy, take his time. He knows the Eagles have all the answers at the moment to whatever question Sturt poses.
Yeah, 4 wins from 4 games this year. Sturt will be scratching their head when they go back. If they come up against the Eagles next time, they'll think, what else can we do?
Ball long to a pack situation. Comes to Smith, somewhat fortuitously, just slipped off the pack to him. And that time Matthew Cooper was very lazy. He allowed his direct opponent Mackenzie to fly one up over the pack and take a strong mark. Nobody behind Mackenzie in terms of players of either side. So Double Blues either flooding back or alternatively the Eagles deciding let's just take everybody forward. Using every inch of the ground. Colville with the chest mark then. Now Colville looks up forward. Ellis comes on the lead. Won't quite get there. Over the back, Matner overran it. Got a bad bounce. Hard to believe, given the ball so slippery on this surface. Rugolo trying to break clear. Just got a kick away. Sikalala to ground. Oh, great hand pass coming out from the ruckman O'Hara. Off to the record breaker in Colville. Puts it up in front of goals. No mark, yes. Paid that time to Feast. Double Blues will have possession and an opportunity to break from defence.
Simon Feast kicks to the outer side, finds Code. Code to Bowen. Coles there. Second effort was good by Coles. He paddles to Passador. Westbrook, Eagles full of running. Westbrook inside 50. Lindsay at the back, Rugolo. Double Blues, take it away. Whiteman. High ball. Chambers flies. 2-on-1. Pearce at the foot of the pack. Trying to edge it forward. Potter's got him covered. Cicolella, strong body to Passador. He's got some space. Pearce about to reel him in and just went past him in a flash. Treby has been good today. Rugolo in some space at half forward. And Rugolo will go back and have a shot. Just kicked the one goal. Doesn't mind kicking a goal, Vinny. His mate Mark Passador's slipped in 3 to go to 29. Vinny's on 33. Be well aware of that. He's going to go for a short pass to Ellis. Ball knocked away, Whiteman. And there's a player on the ground. It looks like Cooper.
Is it? I think it's Cooper.
And he's really copped it there.
Yeah, he got a knee or a body into the back as he chipped in front. Did beautifully to chip in front and get the score. But you see, yeah, the elbow actually coming in to the side of the ribs and the kicking area there. And that's pretty painful. And he looks as though he's in a lot of pain. Probably got the wind taken out of him. And another injury concern that Sturt don't really want to have to deal with at this late stage in this game.
He's pretty tough, Cooper.
The Eagles had 14 of the last 15 inside 50s.
Amazing last quarter performance by the Eagles. Cicolella, who kicked that wonderful goal to put them in front. Williams, kick around the body. O'Hara, Stokes off! It just all falls into place when you're on a roll. Stokes has got 7. Fell into his lap, shut the gate. The Eagles march on to a second semi-final next week against Central District. Sturt need to regroup after this very disappointing performance. 7 goals to Stokes in a magnificent display.
And it would be so disappointing for Brenton Phillips, who, I mean, Sturt were right with them for 3 quarters. I mean, they weren't right with them, they were in front of them. They had them covered, and maybe it was the wrong thing to go for the defensive play in this last quarter, and the Eagles have broken it apart out of the centre, and their forwards, especially this guy in Stokes, what a game he's played with 7 goals and a plethora of possessions.
Colville out of the middle. And for one of the few times today, he misses his target. Curtis intercepts. Quick hand pass to Beveridge, in trouble, in lots of trouble. Gave it back towards Curtis, trying to break the tackle. Cicolella was having none of that.
Andrew, let it go.
Oh, come on, mate.
You can imagine. Come on, mate, you weren't like that when you were playing with us.
I think he said you thought something about the football club. I think read lips.
Here's Nelson. Can't break
My ball.
the tackle.
Let it go.
Stickler and Colville each 26, Stokes 25.
And the Eagles, 35-point winners. Qualifying final at the Adelaide Oval has gone to Woodville West Torrens, and that man there, Ronnie Foley, you'd think would be pretty happy. They were trailing by 19 points at half-time, really under the pump. They've come from 8 points down at three-quarter time with a brilliant final term. 7 goals unanswered to win by 35 points.
35 points after Sturt were in front at three-quarter time by 9. You know, it's something that Sturt need to work on that last quarter. Then obviously the Eagles have got the wool over them at the moment, and everything was there for Sturt to run away in that last quarter. But the Eagles, the team they've shown themselves to be this year, a quality outfit, and the players that lifted during that quarter, the likes of Cicolella and the Colville, and obviously Matty Stokes, they're the ones that are so important.
And Mark Passador, one of the goal kickers for the Eagles this afternoon, is with Sodas. Obviously a problem for Sodas down there. We can't quite hear what's going on, but never mind. We'll perhaps get down there in a moment with the Eagles celebrating what is a very famous victory. As I said, the qualifying final loser has only once gone on to win the premiership. Sturt can only take heart from the fact that that happened in 1976 when the Double Blues won the premiership. Now we're down to Sodas. You got the mic working, Sodas?
Well, now we've changed microphones. This one should be working. Mark Passador, what a great second half.
Yeah, it was, Sodas. You know, we came in at half-time under the pump, but we were able to regroup and really play some hard footing and get over the line. It was great.
What did Ronnie say at the main break?
just that we'll probably a bit fumbly over the footy, so just got to put our head over the ball and hold on to it, and we were able to do that, and then the result took care of itself.
Mate, you had a super start to the game. I think you had racked up about 7 marks in the first half. And a couple of goals as well. You're pretty happy with it?
Yeah, it's good to get back in the forward line. I've been down back for a few weeks, so I'll play anywhere, but it's good to get back amongst the goals.
Pass, look forward to seeing you against the Bulldogs next week.
Thanks, Saders. Cheers.
Thanks to Mark Soderstrom for working through those problems down there. We were trying to read lips there for a moment or two, but obviously Mark Passador pretty happy and satisfied with his afternoon, and I'm sure the Eagles will be satisfied with their afternoon.
Yeah, I certainly like Mark Passador down forward. He's played a bit down back this year, but I know last year he was very damaging up forward for the Eagles, and he can act as a big, strong marking key forward. He's pretty formidable up there, especially when you throw in the likes of Ellis, who didn't have the best day today, and a few other players in Filippo, and the smalls obviously of Matty Stokes, who can jump in and kick 7. I mean, that's an awesome effort in a final.
Well, he did make his debut for the club in a final, going back a few years, so Matthew Stokes, obviously a young man with a good head on his shoulders under pressure. Just watch the Eagles going down to their rooms, quarter by quarter. If we judge it by that, it really shows how emphatic the Eagles were after half-time, when they trailed there at half-time, as you can see, by 19 points, and then coming out and really kicking home, didn't they? 7 goals, 1 without answer from Sturt.
And that's it right there. That's where the game was lost. Sturt went very defensive. They went man on man. We heard Brenton Phillips saying that, and that didn't work that well for them. You see Matty Stokes, obviously the big goal kicker on the day, was 7. Passador with the 3, kicked 2 of those in the first quarter. And for Sturt, Richardson with 3, and then just singles for the rest of Sturt.
And if we look statistically, we can see that Double Blues, as usual, down on kicks, up on hand passes, and in the wet conditions, struggling.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, those stats were even at three-quarter time, we've got to remember as well, apart from the handballs where Sturt were up. But you see the kicks there. And we go down to the rooms for the Eagles song.
You'd expect some big celebrations there as we look at the glorious side of the Adelaide Oval. As I said a couple of times, hosting a double header in the SANFL for the first time, and it is a spectacular sight. We've had a bit of rain this afternoon, but nevertheless wonderful conditions in terms of the surface that these players have been handed to play on.
The ground has been immaculately controlled over the years, obviously, and prepared today beautifully. The rain hasn't had any impact upon that. The ground surface was nice and firm. Have a look at the sun setting over the top of the members' stand, and that's a picture of perfection, isn't it, the Adelaide Oval?
Yes, it is magnificent. We'll be back here in 2 weeks' time for the preliminary final. Next week, we've got the first semi and the second semi. They'll be played at Football Park. Sodas is ready for us down in the rooms, and he's with a very happy Ron Fuller, I'm sure. Sodas? Go, Sodas, whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, Sodas, it's your turn. Interview Ronnie Fuller now.
Well, boys, I'm joined by a very happy Ronnie Fuller. Well, a great finals game of footy for you boys.
It was, so we showed real resilience. I thought we toughed it out early. We probably struggled a bit early, but the self-belief was evident in the end. We just come through, which is good.
What turned it around in that second half?
And I think we just simplified it a little bit. We made a few alterations to the restarts. They were setting up well behind the ball, and we just mixed it up a bit, and we got the ball going forward a bit. But we just kept it simple. We got the ball to boot, got the ball into our danger area quicker. And the Crummers, Stokes has had a day out, so they capitalised on that.
Must have been pretty happy with the discipline of the players. Did fall behind by about 4 goals, but the tackling was very, very impressive in that second half.
That's right. Their tackling improved. We got in front at contests. We got at the ball first, and we didn't over-finesse with it. And it was, as you say, probably the discipline to stick to what we talked about at half-time.
Ronnie, you can now look forward to a big final next week against the Bulldogs.
We're certainly looking forward to it, Mark. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, mate. Cheers.
As we look forward to that final next week, we'll have a look at the highlights from this particular match. And early on, Double Blues started well, didn't they?
They certainly did. I mean, it was the first 10 minutes that they controlled, and the Eagles came back, went into quarter time nice and even. And see Colville there, who wasn't his best game early, but geez, he came into it the last quarter and a half when a few of those Eagles experienced players really lifted. Mark Passador was fantastic early, got on the top of a couple of opponents, finished with a couple of goals in that first quarter, but it really was a shootout. At this point, it was Sturt going goal for goal with the Eagles, and look, it could have gone either way. You see there, just snuck on the end of Burton's boot. This one here, a lovely handball through, just moving it forward as Sturt do with the handball, and a great finish with the reverse banana, just snuck over.
Day for the Crummers, wasn't it? Josh Richardson managing 3 for Sturt, but went out of the game, well, along with most of the Sturt side
right.
in that final quarter when the Eagles are just, well, they're just too strong in the end, just able to overrun the Double Blues. You see Timmy Weatherall here, another Crummer, and around the corner and snuck it back in.
Well, those conditions, like, it was dry early, but as a bit of rain fell, then it really went into the favour in the hands of the Smalls we see here. Stokes kicking one of his 7. We saw Rugolo before. We've also seen Weatherall kicking goals, so it really is. Sikalella getting another one. So the Smalls, they were the key ingredient on the day, especially with the finishing.
I think we talked about pre-game the way that the midfields would work, that would tell the story of the match. In the end, certainly, as you say, the small players and the midfielders managed to get the Eagles over the line.
Yeah, that's where the battle was, but both teams have got strong forward, marking forwards, talls, and they've also got good defenders. So that way they sort of equalised each other out a little bit, neutralised each other, and then it left for the on-balls to have a real hard go at it. And